basketball. The Buckeyes are preparing for battle, and you're preparing to listen to them. Equally important, this is Fan Warm-Up.
All right, Buckeye basketball fans, good morning. Little 11 a.m. warm-up time here. That means we get a nice weekend noon tip-off, and I will tell you what, I hope you guys enjoy this one because we don't have a lot of these, especially a nice noon, something about getting up. We talk about this, although this is probably not the year to go this way because we had 6 straight noon home kickoffs for the football team, and we were getting a little tired of them. I do really love them for college basketball. There is something about a Saturday is the one I love the most. You're one of the first ones up in the weekend, but Sunday, starting off the day at noon, feels like a great time to be playing basketball as well. So I do love this. And the fact that you have a crappy weather day out there, even more the reason to go and check out this Buckeye basketball squad that comes into their final non-conference game of the season, sitting at look, it could be better, but let's focus on the positives right now. Let's focus on the fact that they've won 2 in a row. They've actually won 3 out of 4, if you look at it that way. They had a couple ugly losses against Maryland and Auburn this year. Let's try to leave those in the past. You can't really change those, but it's not really something that's going to be looked at by the selection committee. I don't think the number of points you lost a game by. In the end, you either won a game or you lost a game. That's why, to me, it's crucially important to win games that you're playing well enough to win, a la the Pitt game earlier. That was one that you wanted. But the fact that they've won 2 straight, they beat Valpo at home, and then they just demolished Kentucky, and they've had 8 days to get the holiday break in and to pour a lot of good hard practices into this last one against the Indiana State Sycamores. The Fighting Larry Birds. Yes, indeed. You got the Sycamores in town here. Noon tip-off. Both of these teams are 8-4. So I really do expect to see Ohio State come out with a passionate performance and win this game. And I do even think that there is a quick route for them to find their way back into even the AP Top 25 poll. They were already getting votes after they beat Kentucky the way that they did. And again, like, we know that this is a Buckeye basketball team that at their very best, certainly they can compete with anybody in the country. I believe Kentucky to be a national title contender, and I think a lot of people that cover and watch college basketball would agree with me. They have a really good roster, and I think Mark Pope, first year with Kentucky since Cal left, is doing a really, really nice job with them. A good blend of who they had and some of the transfers that they brought in. A good team, a really good-looking roster. Of course, the Buckeyes beat Texas first game of the season. So those 2 wins in the non-con, when you divvied up their 5 big ones because they had Texas, Kentucky, then they had Auburn, Pitt, and Texas A&M. You would have loved, obviously, to get 3 of those 5 to be above the 500 mark, but getting the Kentucky win was it was absolutely crucial to do it. I go back to after that game. Let's hear from the head coach here on how they came up with that upset against the Wildcats before we dive further into this one against Indiana State today.
We've been pretty good in ball screen situations this year. We felt like that was something, we could utilize, but we also felt like we've certainly built a reputation, I think, from the three-point line. But when we're clicking, a lot of our threes come from inside out. And so we've been conscious of attacking the paint and playing with poise when we're in there. And listen, there were times it didn't feel very poised because they're really active. When you do get it in the paint defensively, Butler's he has elite hands and instincts in there. So I was proud of our guys for just kind of keeping the game plan, staying in that attack mode, and we were able to get some good things from it.
Yeah, what's interesting about this Buckeye basketball team is their 3-point percentage has been very, very good, and they're going to win a lot of games because of how they shoot from beyond the arc. But then in a game like that, you look and you see how they're scoring in the paint. They outscore Kentucky 36-24 in the paint. They are able to do some damage in there, and they've got some guards. We know that Michi, He's still hopefully going to be a factor for this team, but the roster's been here or there where you were missing Aaron Bradshaw for a good period of time. Quez Glover was gone with injury. Both those two players came back for the Kentucky game. It was big to see Bradshaw back in his first game since he transferred from Kentucky. You wanted just that little extra emotional push with Bradshaw being on the court, but now without Michi, you still like what you've got with guard play because Quez comes back, even though you would definitely love to see Johnson come back here at some point because with him and Bruce Thornton and Quez Glover, I think you got guys that can actually drive. They can control the basketball. We know Bruce has a nose to take it to the 10, and he can do damage there as well as hit from the outside. And you know Michi can be a good driver of the basketball as well. But you definitely love what you got from your leader out of Bruce Thornton with 30 points in that basketball game. So that was incredible. And so, by the way, Indiana State, they're one of these teams that won 32 games last year. They were 28-6 in the regular season. They didn't get into the big dance. They went all the way to the championship game in the NIT. Who knows? A couple things go differently. The Buckeyes could have been playing Indiana State for the championship game. They lost Robbie Avila, Isaiah Swope, and Ryan Conwell. They're all gone. Avila and Swope followed Coach Schertz to St. Louis. Conwell's one of Xavier's best players right now, next to Zach Fremantle. But Indiana State lost its top 6 guys, 2 to SLU, 1 to Xavier, 2 to Texas, who the Buckeyes beat, and 1 decided to play pro ball in Finland, for God's sakes. So they stayed in-house. They hired Matthew Graves, longtime assistant. He's been a lot of different places. He was a head coach at South Alabama. I always love to see if there's a link to Ohio State with these mid-major head coaches. This was an easy one. You just have to do one link to the Buckeyes. He was at Butler from 2000 to 2013. Obviously, we know who's the head coach there in 2000. That was Thad Matta. But the Sycamores have won 5 in a row, and they've won a lot of games away from home. So that brings us to the game today. Let's get deeper inside as we go inside the Buckeyes with Ron Stokes.
It's time to go inside the Buckeyes with OSU basketball analyst and former captain Ron Stokes.
All right, Ron, 8 days of rest, back to basketball here. How do you think the holidays have treated this team?
Very well. I mean, that win was so impressive in so many different ways. The big question I've had from day one since they beat Texas was how could Ohio State win when the three-point shot wasn't going? And clearly they showed that. You look at their numbers, wasn't their very best day from beyond the arc, but they got it done and beat a good Kentucky team. A lot of question marks, Timmy, when you think about, you don't have Michi Johnson. You got a freshman in the starting lineup. Quez Glover missed a bunch of games. Aaron Bradshaw questionable. And guess what? They go out there and they handle their business. A great win, kind of galvanized themselves together. And this is the kind of win, Tim, that can really turn the season around.
It was nice to see after a few injury concerns coming into this game here, Ronnie, that Devin Royal, Micah Parrish, and Colin White were all questionable. Now I'm seeing that those 3 guys I listed are cleared to play. Hopefully we see all those guys out there. Clearly Devin Royal and Micah Parrish, crucial cogs in the wheel here.
Yeah, the big thing is like during shoot-around, how much activity is there. I wasn't there this morning. Paul just gave me some insight that they were participating in that. So there's a good chance that they all 3 will play this afternoon. I hope they will because, as we all know, the Big Ten is right around the corner. But, man, I'm just so happy for this team. We all know they had 2 very disappointing losses when you think about what happened at Maryland and, again, against Auburn. But to come back and play that way, away from home and play so decisively, that was very, very refreshing to see.
So I just mentioned this is an Indiana State team you got to look out for. They've won 5 times away from their home gym. So I'm sure they'll have some confidence here today. You just have to, at all costs though, Ron, right? Last non-conference game, you got Michigan State coming in on Friday night. You must put together a great performance and take care of business today.
When you look at this roster, Tim, it just speaks to what the game of college basketball is all about. I mean, this is a team that lost in the NIT championship last year, and their top 5 players could have come back, but they all chose to leave and go elsewhere. That's college sports today.
Yeah.
One team 1 year, an entire different team the next year. But you give Indiana State a lot of credit. Their new coach, Matt Graves, they're off to a great start. As you said, 5 games in a row. They're playing great basketball. I had a chance to listen to their post-game comments that the team feels that they've been practicing so well together. Big reason why they're winning.
Yeah, let's see Aaron Bradshaw follow up a nice return with another great performance today, huh?
Hey, seeing him make those shots, I was totally shocked. First, I didn't know whether he was going to play, but for him to go out there and play against his old team and to play that productively, oh, man, it was so fun to watch. Neil and I had a great time calling that game.
Yeah, 11 points, 5 of 6 shooting, and just the 18 minutes of action for him, which was nice to see. Buckeyes and Indiana State, last non-conference game before it gets real. Let's get it done, Ron. We got a big week in Ohio State athletics here.
Yeah, football and basketball. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks indeed. Ron Stokes, everybody, the former captain of this basketball team. Cannot wait to hear him and Paul Keels give this one a good call. Skip Mossick is standing by for pregame festivities as well. I will see you guys for postgame, hopefully talking about a big Buckeye victory. We can turn the page to Michigan State and get going in Big Ten play. Buckeye basketball against Indiana State, next on The Fan.
You've been listening to Fan Warm-Up. Stay tuned for Buckeye basketball on your flagship home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
1 in 3 student athletes gets disturbing messages from sports bettors. This threatens the safety and mental health of college athletes like Tyler.
I'm a student and an athlete. I don't deserve to be threatened over my play. If you're upset about your sports bet, don't take it out on me, because I'm more than a bet.
These threats are not acceptable. Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Some things you wouldn't mind being stuck with, like a huge inheritance. But a phone that has to be plugged in just right so it charges is not one of those things. Switch to Verizon and we'll pay off your old phone up to $800 via prepaid MasterCard for a new one on us. Just trade in any phone from our top brands with select unlimited plans. $829.99 purchase with new smartphone line on select unlimited plans. Minimum $90 per month with auto pay plus taxes and fees for 36 months required. Less $830 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Trade-in terms apply. Payoff phone requires smartphone purchase and port-in with new smartphone line on select plan. Must provide most recent bill showing payoff amount of eligible phone. Additional terms apply.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2024.
Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
We're back on the Nada Yada Island Confessions Show. Benny is about to tell us how he found two loves. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks to Metro, I found iPhone 12 and Apple Watch SE.
At Metro, get the perfect match of both iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE for only $99.99. You heard that right. Both for just $99.99. Holidays with Nada Yada Yada. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number and ID, sign up for Metro Flex Plus, and add a watch line. Not available if you're with T-Mobile or been with Metro in the past 180 days. Limit 2 per account.
What are your plans this winter? Snowy walk in the park? Curl up by the fire with a nice book? Get stuck in the hospital with COVID-19? If that last one isn't in your plans, and surely it's not, then consider getting an updated vaccine. Because if you're 65 or older, you're 14 times more likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19 than someone under 50. So get your updated vaccine and make the most of this winter. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Tech scams, identity thieves, data leaks. Hearing about these online threats every day can be stressful. But don't worry. McAfee Total Protection is here to help you live a worry-free life online. What does worry-free mean? Well, it means you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. That's McAfee.com/online protection. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.